Hi guys! The first thing I want to talk about is this whole theory over changing astrological signs and the zodiac. Okay, so basically if you haven't heard about this, instead of having 12 zodiac symbols, which basically means that the sun passes through these constellations on the sky, instead of having 12 of them, there is now a 13th called Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus is actually kind of an interesting constellation. Ophiuchus is the snake handler. Another constellation is on either side of him, and it's called Serpens. It's two halves of a snake. And he's called the snake handler because in Greek mythology, his actual name is Asclepius, I think. Asclepius was a healer. He noticed these snakes one day, and he killed the snake, and then this other snake came by with like a life-restoring herb and gave it to the first snake, and the first snake revived. So Asclepius started using this herb to save humans, to bring them back to life. And Zeus got mad about this, so he killed him and then put him up in the sky as a constellation. So that's who Ophiuchus is. Anyway, so what happened recently was that the Earth rotates, and obviously you knew that, and it creates a point of rotation in the sky called the celestial North Pole, and also the celestial South Pole. But since we're in the northern hemisphere, we care about the celestial northern pole. Anyway, so what happens is it's like a top spinning. So the top is spinning, but then also as it's spinning, it also kind of has this rotational motion. And so it wobbles, and so the celestial North Pole changes. It goes around in a circle once every 26,000 years. So what happened was when the Babylonians or the Egyptians or I don't even know who made up the zodiac, but what happened was when they made it, the sun only did go through 12 constellations. But then, as the Earth's North Pole wobbled and the constellations shifted a little bit on the sky in relation to where we see them against the sun and the planets and moon, is the sun now passes through the tail end of Ophiuchus. And so they decided to change the zodiac. So now there's 13 constellations, which a lot of people are angry about it and like, I'm a Leo, I'm a Sagittarius, la la. But really, it doesn't matter, because basically what happened was astrology was pwned by science. That's basically what just happened. In another, 10,000 years, there might be 14 zodiacs, or there might be 12 again. I don't know, because I haven't really looked into it, but that's basically what that's all about. School is going well. I have 4 classes, which I'm sure you know. I have 2 history classes, a class on Jane Austen, and a class on microbes. I've already told you about my class on microbes and how I'm going to really enjoy it. One of my history teachers is fantastic. He's funny, and he's a really good teacher, and it's a great class. It's my medieval history class, and I really enjoy the class so far. And the other history class is history of modern Europe, which is interesting. I like the teacher. It's my first class of the day when I have 4 hours of class, so it kind of puts a little damper on like me liking the class, because I kind of forget about it because I have 2 classes right after it. But the teacher is good, and I am learning some interesting stuff there because we're going deeper into subjects that I learned about in high school because I took a European history class. And then my Jane Austen class is fun. We've read a few short stories by Jane Austen that she wrote when she was in her teen years, and they were funny, and kind of satirical and paradoxical, and parroting society, which was interesting because it's like, oh, a 13-year-old wrote this. The first novel we're reading is not actually by Jane Austen. It's called Evelina, and it's by Frances Burney. It influenced Jane Austen's writing. She read this, and you can see aspects of it in her books. Willoughby is one of the names of people in Evelina, and Jane Austen uses that later. I have a few papers to start writing this weekend, but that's going to be fine because they're just papers, and papers are, 4 or 5 pages, double-spaced. Pretty simple. Was asked which instrument would I like to play, and I think I would like to play the piano because it just sounds pretty and it's pretty easy and it wouldn't hurt my fingers like guitar would before I developed calluses, and I don't really, it would just hurt. And I just don't have enough like patience or gumption to learn a musical instrument. Like, I kind of want to, but I don't care enough to actually put in all the work, and being good at a musical instrument is a lot of work, and I just don't care enough. So that's why I don't play any musical instrument, despite having abundant supplies of them around my house growing up. Aaron wanted to know what our supervillain name, superpower, and catchphrase were going to be. So I thought about this, and then I picked the obvious selection for me. So my supervillain name is called the Turtleizer. My superpower is to turn people into turtles, like cute turtles, not sappy turtles, because then they could hurt me. But turn into cute turtles. My catchphrase is, "You're a turtle!" So that's what my supervillain name, power, and catchphrase would be. And then to round out this video, I'm going to talk about how excited I am about Emily's plan to go to Europe in a year and a half. Like, that's so totally cool. French llama, that's so cool. And I would love to go with her because it would be so freaking awesome. And, it's just such a great idea, to go to Europe for 2 months and, volunteer different places and, like, sleep on couches and whatever, and it's cool. So basically, I'm starting to save my money. Even if we don't go to Europe, it's a good idea to save money. And if we don't go to Europe, then hey, maybe we'll take a road trip, or maybe we'll take a road trip in addition to going Europe, because that would be really awesome. And I would love to take a road trip or go to Europe, whichever one happens, it'll be great. And I hope that one of them happens and that none of them don't happen, if that makes sense. So I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. I will see you all later.